that didn't help. Hey, what's up, M&D? How you doing? Just sitting there going over some of the old things I found under my house, but I was working under there a couple weeks ago. I found an old, I don't know, trash pit for bottles, I guess you'd say. Yeah, I ended up getting some kind of a really bad flu while I was on my little mini vacation there. It's been over a week now, and it's still got me crudted up. I haven't really felt like doing much of anything. I still keep running hot and cold. I don't know. It's pretty shitty, whatever it is. Yep. Check out my old can I got. I found that in the basement. I looked that up. It's from like the 1920s. I appreciate it, man. I do. There was some girl that was coughing behind me in line on this roller coaster, and she sounded like she had freaking tuberculosis or something. And Typhoid Mary there, I guess, infected me with whatever the hell that was. Yep, that's crazy that old kid's been there under my basement for all those times. All that time. But check this out. Oh, shit. This is a Great Seal half pint whiskey sampler, and it's actually still has the cork in top. That's from the 1920s there, too. Unusual for the half pint size, like a little hip flask. That's pre-prohibition. So, you know. Yep. I tell you, bro. Sound like I got the croup or something. Check out that camera that I got right here, man. Oh shit, I just dropped the batteries out of it. Big ass Canon. Digital camera, you know, all that. It's got this giant battery pack on the bottom that I just dumped everywhere. It fits 2 of these big ass rechargeable batteries here in it. It'll last for a while. Better fix it. Hey, welcome back, Perry, dude. How you doing, brother? Sitting there going over some of my flea market acquisitions and some of the stuff I found under my house. But anyway, what I was trying to show before I dumped the batteries out. Get the light right. It come with this big bottom battery attached to it, right? And you pull that out, and it has 2 of the camera batteries in it that keeps it running for a long time. And it works, dude. That's the crazy part about it. You know what I paid for this camera here, dude? $5. $5 camera right there, guys. Batteries were fully charged. I'm like, hell yeah. And I got some of the Brown Bear lacquered 7.62 by 39 ammo. It's good ammo. I like the Silver Bear a little better, but that'll work. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet deal for a camera, man. Good working condition and stuff. I mean, it's an older model, but still, you don't really need a whole lot for filming fireworks. And that zoom is awesome on it. It's a good lens, auto cleaning, all that fancy crap. Yo, did you see my traffic light oil can power, dude? I found that oil can there under my house, man. Gulf Oil Corporation, Gulf Refining Company, 40 weight, 2 gallons. You know, I looked it up. I think it's from 1922. So that kind of go with your Model T, wouldn't it? About the same time period. You know, the other side, the design's not that good a shape, but this side here, I think if you cleaned it up, it would be nice. That's how I found it. I don't know if it's like coins. You're probably, not supposed to clean it, or people want to clean it themselves or whatnot. I don't know. Might have some value to it, some old kids do. I found that half pint liquor bottle here. I found an entire bottle trash dump like under my house back there, which makes it dangerous to crawl over top like I was doing because some of that shit's broken. But there's bottles like this and all kinds of stuff from the 1920s buried back there. That one's still got the cork in it, man. I was like, shit. It's a half pint whiskey flask from Great Seal. Is something about being syrup. It's pre-prohibition, and it's from Ohio somewhere here. I was like, cool. I wonder where old Al's at. He's the one that's into the bottles and stuff and knows that stuff. Nah, I'm not gonna drink it. That's the blue stuff that's in it is just like some shit ammonia to kill whatever is growing in the bottle, I guess. Yeah, it's probably just worked on top. This house was made in 1919, so around that time period. This stuff's actually worth digging out of the ground. You can make good money off of it for real. Yeah, I think about that sometimes when I'm sitting in this house with all this technology and computers and all this stuff going on. I'm like, this house probably heard the echoes of Pearl Harbor's radio address back in the 40s and stuff, and all the history that's happened in these walls. It's crazy. I've got like 15 feet ceilings in my house. I can fly drones and stuff around. It's actually cool, but it makes changing light bulbs a pain in the ass. I'll have to find a way to change light bulbs with drones, I guess. That'd be cool. How many drones does it take to change a light bulb? I can't get any definitive date on when this house was made. The oldest that picture that I've seen here in town that has my house in it is from 1919, so it could be a bit earlier than that. Whenever the railroad come through here and built the houses and stuff, for this house would have been like one of the not bosses, but probably a supervisor's kind of house. You've got the smaller little railroad houses, then you have the nicer ones, and then you have the big mansions. But back here in West Virginia, coal companies and train companies and stuff like that, they pretty much run everything for the last couple of 100 years in the state. Well, the crazy part about it is you can tell by where the houses actually are on the hillside. The cheaper houses are down towards the bottom, the medium houses are in the middle, and then the bigger, fancier houses are up on the mountains. But that was the bad place to build them because most of them, the ground has slid from underneath them and caused them to either be falling down or have to be torn down due to unstable ground over the last 150 years. But, yeah, my brother just got a couple of metal detectors, actually. We ought to go back there, but I'm not going to crawl around in there anymore until I put a respirator on because it's just too old and moldy and shit back under there. That's probably the reason why I'm crouped up now to a degree. Plus that flu. I'm making room for the duct work and stuff for like putting a heat pump in the house here. That's how I discovered this shit. Well, that and going to the flea market, I wonder how much my battery's charged. Good enough. It is hot in the pyro room. Quite hot in here, actually. It's a darn shame old Pyro Al. Come on, Pyro Al. He's the bottle guy. He'd probably get excited over the find I found under the house here. Hey, appreciate it, Johnny Garcia. Yeah, other than being a little sick, everything's more or less all right. Thank you for asking, man. Appreciate it. Hope things are going good for you and yours too, man. Yeah. I don't know about metal detecting, but I'd like to go out there and look for some of that ancient shit with you. That'd be cool. I love arrowhead hunting and stuff. I might have to get my collection on and get it together and put it on here maybe. And again, I'm kind of afraid of getting in trouble with some tribe or some shit too. I don't know. It might not be a smart thing to do. I used to go down here along the riverbanks and stuff where they have long, big cornfields and stuff because the ground's so fertile and shit where the river floods. And they go on for miles and miles and miles. And it's corn for animals and stuff, more or less. And where they till it up, I'd go behind it and look for arrowheads because they'd tilt them up out of the ground. I found one place in the middle of the field that was really, really, the dirt was a different color. It was darker there. Started finding some really, really nice arrowheads, some crystals, some different color stuff. And then I started finding bones and stuff. And I realized I was in a graveyard. And I'm like, I put everything I found back where I found it. But it was kind of a shame because it's just going to get tilled and destroyed. It's just like the bones were getting tilled up and having corn grown on top of them. I'm just like, kind of, part of me wanted to take the stuff, but then I'm like, no, I watched Poltergeist as a child, so I'm not going to do that. There's one place where the floorboards and stuff are scuffed up in my daughter's room, like somebody hid stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna have to pull up a floorboard, check, see if there's a compartment under there, because this house did go through the recession and stuff, the Great Recession. So you never know. Hey, Parwell, I was just talking about you. What do you think about bottle I found under my house? Talk about bottle trash piles, dude. There's an old one under my house here, man. I pulled this bottle out because it was on top. It's still got the cork in it. It's you probably know what it is, a Great Seal liquor half pint bottle. And then I found this oil can here, traffic motor oil. It's pre-prohibition, I do believe. Pretty primitive bottle. But to find it with the cork is crazy. Yeah. I don't believe in disrespect. I wouldn't want somebody in my family's graveyard disrespecting it. So I try to not, I'm not worried about evil spirits or any of that crazy shit. It's just not something wrong you shouldn't do. And I go in a cemetery somewhere and I find a big old block of gold or something, that shit's going with me, though. I'm sorry. Cool. This here is a half pint liquor sampler bottle, is what it is actually. When I looked it up, I managed to find it. That's what it was, a half pint sampler, made in Ohio there, and about 1922. Can is from 1920, about 1920, 1922 as well, from what I can understand. I found one of the cans in worse condition than that one on eBay for like 60 or 70 bucks. So that might be a score right there. I'll put that sucker on there. Yeah, no doubt. It's just like today, man. My buddy Dave, his brother had a drinking issue, and he would stop and get those little like airport bottles, of little bottles of wild turkey, and he would drown those things like you would a cough drop, just all day. Oh, that's cool, man. It's always cool to see something different. Let's see, what does it say on it? My eyes are not that great. It says, I can't put them two in the center here. I can see it says Ohio. It's about Reddings Company, Great Seal. It's got like a, I don't want to turn it up, but it's got like a diamond on the bottom. Oh yeah, patent medicines and stuff. Just about everything that actually worked had opium in it. And that would be a useful thing to be able to get today if you did have people that abused it. But just imagine the people that would die if you could still sell that shit in a pharmacy. But yeah, I'm gonna get a respirator and I'm gonna go back down there and dig some more of these bottles up out of the ground, dude, because it looks like probably, I don't know how deep the pile goes, but there's a lot of them. I have a lot in the bottle. I found one of those too. Oh, sweet. I hope maybe I can find some rare stuff too, because this house of mine's really old. And nobody's been back there, good Lord, probably since it's been made. Battery has a bottle, cool. Yeah, wasn't it for children? A lot of them was like a cough syrup for babies or some shit. I think I seen something like that. Yeah. Oh man, what a day! What a day! What's up, Dark Misery? How you doing? Ah, shit balls. Hey, I also have found something else that's really cool about how I can hold it up to show you. It's a giant bug zapper I call the Death Star. It's what Weber Grills made before they started making grills. They made these giant round bug zappers, right? And I bought this one at a flea market for $7. Plug it up, the thing still works. When bugs hit it, they explode. They catch fire. It is insane. It's like awesome powered. God knows how many watts it pulls, but it still works. Intact and working, it's worth like $400 or $500. It's crazy. This is the Death Star. And this was made by Weber Grill before they make grills. It just says Web on the front there. Still part of the label intact. But it is huge. I kind of like the round shape of it and stuff. Yep, $7. I hadn't either. I thought it was cool. I'm gonna mount it on a pole in the yard and concrete it. I think it's gonna put a straight pole, make it look like a kind of a 1950s atomic kind of thing. I think it's that era. Oh, Yellow Groove probably got. I think he's all into Weber grills and stuff. From what I've seen, the man can barbecue. What the hell? There. Maybe that'll work. Cool. Oh, you have seen those. There's a lamp in the way, man. I can't see hard in my chat. Hold on. Ah, shit. clean up in here. This is my junk room, so it just it acquires junk rather quickly. I think I'm a pack rat. Hand crank and all, man. You know, I've never used one of those, but I always thought it'd be cool to try one. Mabscott Bottling, yeah. You know, me and my buddy back in the day, he lived right up above the bottling plant there in Mabscott, and we went in the sewer grate, come up inside the warehouse and stole a bunch of beer. It was a sewer beer heist back in the day. Back when we were kids, you know, I would never do anything like it now. Hey, Sunshine World, how you doing? I wouldn't do it then, actually. I was just a lookout, but I knew it was happening, but they got caught. You know, that's about 30 minutes away from my house, man. Mabscott is one of those places that you do not want to go, man, because it is a small little town in the middle of a big city. And if you just 25 mile an hour, if you go there and you look sideways, you get pulled over. And if you get pulled over, it's one of them places they're going to give you a ticket. They're going to get in your pocket somehow. My dad said that he used to do that when he was a kid. He would go to the dump and they would have to dump the beer there, and he would get wheelbarrow loads, he said, of beer that was still good that they had to throw out. Well, Mabscott's kind of a funny thing. It's a small town in a big city. It's like the big city grew up around the small town with in the middle, kind of like a T-bone steak. And it's the bone. Let me reiterate, Mabscott sucks. So if it is worth something, it'd be one of the only things that ever come out of Mabscott that was worth anything. They pulled me over for having my exhaust too loud on my Camaro the day that I had the shit installed, the new Flowmaster system. 50 state legal, had the magazine, had the ad, all this shit. Took it to court with me. Everything. They still got $150 out of my wallet. Bastards. And the only reason the car was even loud then is because I seen him because my radar detector was having a shit hemorrhage, and I threw it up in the third gear, or threw it down in the third gear, going downhill. It was backing off through the exhaust system. But I was just making sure I didn't go over 25 because I knew they was waiting to pounce on me. I got blasted one time with a bunch of Native Americans in a giant TV. That was pretty wild. When we go deer hunting and stuff, we go camping for about a week. These one tribe, they camp out from where we would camp. And we went to visit them just to say hi, check out their big ass teepee and stuff. Because there's like 50 guys in this gigantic teepee, right? It's real buckskin, but it's huge. So we're checking all this stuff out, man. It's like 3 feet of snow on top of this mountain, and they've got a fire outside, and everybody's sitting around at lawn chairs with like a half-gallon of liquor in their lap. And they're just passing that shit around in a circle. I sat down for like, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes, and I just lost control of my neck. All I could do is look up at the damn stars. But them dudes would sit around and bet on every little thing that was going on. They were sitting there betting on which way my dad was going to fall out of the chair. It was funny. But he got the last laugh because he fell backwards and nobody had any money on that. But yeah, good God. I did like how they could just go in the woods, kill their deer, butcher off what they wanted. They took most of everything. Pat it in a backpack and take it, and then have to check it in. Didn't have to do any of that other horse shit. They just butcher it right there on the spot, take what they want, and go. But hunting rights is kind of the least the least they could have. I've never been around any group that it wasn't really involved, my friend, and that's not a slight or slur in any way, shape, or form. It's just what's happened in my case. Drinking has always been involved, but it's always been cool. I've never had any problems. I've seen people do a lot of stupid shit, but no real violence. I've been fortunate on that, I guess. A lot of, hey, watch this kind of stuff. I bet you could, man. I've been to a few reservations when I was driving a truck because I would stop because a lot of us truck parking, and they'd have a little store that would sell fireworks, and I'd go in and check them out, and I knew what the place was all about because it was kind of like the small towns here in West Virginia. I'm like, yep. I'm like, everybody here is just not doing that great, and you could tell that drugs and alcohol definitely had a hand in it, and the local store there would price gouge every frigging thing, and the people that lived there, it's like the only store in God knows how far. So I'm like, yo, this is just like how it is at home. Some of the places out there went and done a lot of cool artwork and shit up on the painted cliffs there through Arizona and Nevada and things like that. I really thought that was cool. Yeah, I'm not talking shit in any way. I'm just saying it's familiar to me because I've lived it and seen it. Just it wasn't reservation style. It was just a poor white man version, I guess. Yeah. Man, I mean, you've compared stories. And we live in different worlds on different sides of the country, but a lot of the stuff that we've had is pretty similar. That's why I have a room full of pyro and toys here, I believe. I didn't have shit when I was a kid, so I think I overcompensate now, but shit, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You be careful, Pyro Owl, man. Indeed, dude. But I still got stuff when I was a kid. I just had to be real creative on how I got it, Had to wheel and deal, but I was never dishonest, never stole, never lied. But I would find a way to get what I wanted eventually. It just took time. Have to actually earn it. I used to collect pop bottles as 10 cents a piece when I was a kid. And I'd say kids, your younger people now don't even know anything about that. Like Saturday morning cartoons. I remember the first time my little girl saw black and white television, she didn't know what it was. She thought there was something wrong with it. That was funny. And then she saw a cassette tape one time at a yard sale and was asking me what it was. And I'm like, oh, seriously? I was like, damn, make a man feel old, why don't you? Oh, I know. I'm not saying you don't have all your fingers and toes or your you got good experience, but complacency kills, my friend. Always be careful. Yup. That was part of my pyro budget, man, because pyro, being illegal here in West Virginia at the time, you'd have to get the bottle rockets and the firecrackers black market at the flea market, and it wasn't cheap. Not for a kid, anyway. It wasn't cheap by any means, but a stir cell wasn't cheap for a kid. So I'd collect pop bottles all week just to be able to go find some old dude at the flea market with a van, which I know that don't sound like a good plan, and buy bottle rockets and firecrackers off of them. They would always put out something like smoke bombs or something like that, even though the smoke bombs were still illegal as well. But that would let you know, be like, hey, man, where's the good shit? And it'd always be hidden in the back of the van. So that's where my pyro career started back when I was about 8 or 9, going around collecting pyro and pop bottles. I started playing with firecrackers when I was about 5, though, because my dad, he would like to blow up a lot of my Matchbox cars and stuff. Yeah, this is true. You probably do, but everything's relative. At least as kids, we were out there trying to hustle and get what we wanted instead of expecting somebody to hand it to us. There's a lot of kids, I'm sure people if you're younger that they expect everything to be given to them and they don't want to earn a damn thing. Yup. I would also do experiments on bugs and beetles and stuff like that. I'd take a 22 box of shells, empty 50 bucks, put a firecracker in it, fill it full of my test subject beetles, blow them up, and see how well they'd handle it and shit. Which is cruel, but kids do shit like that. I'd dig out holes in the hillside with my trucks and cars and army men and blow the holes out and stuff because I watched all those World War II movies, where they're blowing out the spider holes and shit out of the mountains like Iwo Jima or whatever. Yeah, I know, but I feel like an old man every time I'm like, you damn kids, bunch of assholes. And I'm like, good God, I sound like the old people when I was that age. I guess every generation looks at the new generation that way. Like they're a bunch of dumbasses because they haven't learned. No, they haven't learned yet. It takes time. But I don't know what their learning process is going to be like with the way a lot of children have been raised now. It's kind of scary when their mothers and fathers finally kick the bucket. There's a lot of them. I don't know what they're going to do. No, that's true. Our generation had respect. When I was a kid, you didn't go in somebody's yard. You didn't mess with their stuff. You sure as hell didn't try to steal anything, or they would kill you. Besides, you were taught better to start with. I don't think there's enough, man. Well, a entire generation can't live off of welfare. Be like, get your ass out there and get a job, Chinese style, if you have to. You don't hear them bitching, man. I watched a documentary today in Taiwan where people live in freaking cages, dude. Especially the old people. It was sad, like dog cage linked, like you'd put your coon dog in, like a wire cage, and they rent those and they live in them little boxes like that. And these slumlords stack them in these buildings like that, and they charge them a fortune to live in a fucking cage. I'm like, that is some sad shit. So if you ever think you got it bad, just think about them 4 Chinese guys living in a friggin' cages. Bad shit, man. And then they have all them giant ghost cities there in China that goes on with all these big, nobody living there. Giant cities, housing developments, completely empty. The places are falling down from age and still nobody lives in them. And they continue building them because they're government subsidized. So they just continue building and building and building. And they look impressive, but it's shoddy made shit that falls apart in about 6 or 7 years. I don't know what the point in that is other than fraud their own government out of the cash, I guess. But you have all those empty cities with nobody living in them, and then you have people, elderly people, living in cages. I'm like, something's not right there. Maybe, man, but they're intact. Have you seen the videos and stuff of these cities that go on for miles with not a soul living in them? It's crazy, and they keep on building more. It's like, wow, what are they doing? A lot of the stores and stuff that they put there is just fake. It's like there's nothing in them. I'm like, it'd be something about buy an apartment in this town, and you wouldn't want to buy anything in China from the stuff that I've seen because it falls apart because it's built so shoddily that it's weird. I'd like to go there someday, but it doesn't seem like a place an inexperienced person should ever go. Well, hell, man, we know there's a shit ton of Chinese the way there is. We don't need to think there's any more. There's already, God knows. Yeah, copper and brass, man. I just took a few copper lines and brass fittings and stuff on them a couple weeks ago. I got like $100 out of it. It's stuff that I was removing from the old heating system here, the boiler that the house used to have. Now you're throwing that shit away, I'll take it to the scrapyard all day long. I hate to waste stuff like that because I kept thinking about what could I use this for? What could I build? I'm like, how I could make a steel. I'm like, nah. I don't have time to do half the projects I want to do, man. Oh, crap. I don't know. I don't remember what the prices were, to be honest. Hey, yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? I guess it's like the Boy Scouts, they give them different awards for different things. It's pretty good ammo. I like the fact that it's lacquered, at least it won't rust. It's got that red lacquering on it around the base, too. But pretty good rounds. Yeah. They get one every year that they're not shot by their leader, I guess. Oh, I cashed mine in because I didn't have anywhere to put it, and if I left it sitting out, somebody would steal it. So I'm like, I might as well take it myself. like I said, it seems to be meth is getting to be an issue around here now, and that's bad. Seems to be quite the crime spree going on. I hope not, man. It seemed like it was never a big issue here. It was always the prescription medication that was the big issue here. But now that all the doctors have cracked down on their prescription writing, it seems to be that meth have filled the hole. And that shit's even worse. If you could have something worse than pills, meth would be worse. Seems like the crime and the theft and stuff is on the way up big time because of it. I don't think there's a lot of that to be found around here, but there sure as hell seems to be a lot of meth. There's houses and stuff that blow up all the time. Well, I wouldn't say all the time, but I think 2 or 3 this year in the small town that I live in have caught fire because of meth labs. One was only like 7 avenues down from where I live. Yeah, see, that's the whole thing. There's not a lot of jobs, low income and stuff pretty much all over West Virginia. So meth being cheap, it's a pretty popular drug with people, but it's still not cheap enough to be free, so they end up stealing for their habits. I don't think so, man. I don't think the government's to blame. It's a personal decision. If you're dumb enough to take a drug and not know that there's going to be consequences, then you deserve to take the shit and die any fucking way, to be honest. Because we all know when something, I mean, shit. Whoever thought that they would stick a needle in their veins and do heroin and just everything's going to turn out all right for them is fucking retarded to start with. And I know I shouldn't say that word, but damn. Whoever thought that shit was going to work out well for them, you know? Oh, yeah, they have us selling the drugs for the Contra and shit, for the weapons to give the Contra back in the day, man, back in the Reagan era. Our government turned to the drug dealers to buy guns for fucking free Nicaraguan, whatever, fucking Middle East weapons and all that other bullshit. It was like, what? We're selling South American drugs to finance our war in the Middle East for the CIA. I'm like, wow. That's crazy that this shit's actually true. Kind of like that TV show Snowfall. It pretty much portrays it about like the history says, more or less, other than the dramatic shit. Yeah, it pretty much went down in that fashion. I don't know, poppies and heroin and stuff like that's been a thing in the Middle East and China and places like that for thousands of years, like the opium wars and shit that we had back in the God knows when, you know. I don't know if it was ever a big issue over there as far as an epidemic. Now, I know China had to get hard on drugs and stuff like that because at one time they said their entire population was laying down and smoking heroin. That's why they have such strict laws today over it. And that was way back in the 1800s, I believe, when that shit went down. The Middle Eastern countries, hell, look at all the money that they were making off of the heroin to finance part of the shit back in Vietnam, wasn't it? Why in the hell would you protect them? Just destroy their stuff and move on if it's financing the enemy forces. I mean, poppies and stuff like that is important for, I guess the medicine and stuff that you make out of them as well. I don't know. Yeah, I was watching one of them TV shows. I think it was Locked Up Abroad, and they had got locked up over, and I think it was Turkey, right in the police station. They're talking to the police chief, and he's filling up his pipe full of hash and smoking it, blowing smoke in their face the whole time they're having their conversation. But over there, it's just part of their everyday, more or less. I was watching them make it on this one show and just beating that shit, man. And it just had all that keef. It was nice. Giant bags full of that shit. Eh, I think drugs is a personal choice. If you're, like I said, if you're stupid enough to think it's going to go well for you, then, go for it. But if you look at the history of anybody, you don't really know too many people that's had a good experience with drugs. Most of the time it cost them their family, their money, their everything they own, and eventually their freedom or their life. It only ends two places: a graveyard or prison. If you're lucky, you go to prison, and I don't seem very fucking lucky. And I have seen it all in my own family. No, I've seen it. Well, I've actually seen an old junkie. Hell, it was my great uncle. He was in his 60s, and his wife and stuff had left him and shit. And his life went to crap. And he started doing crack and running around with whores and shit. I was like, damn, he decided to go buck wild in his old age. But I guess that was just because of what happened to him. Yeah, he didn't make it long with that lifestyle. But he found out he had cancer anyway, so he kind of took care of himself in that situation. My aunt I grew up with, we lived next door to each other all through my childhood. My aunt was only a couple years younger than me. And I know it's weird. But when she got older, she got on that stuff and she just completely changed, turned into a monster, done horrible things, and eventually killed her. I was like, damn. And I can't feel bad for her because it's just like, you're too damn stupid to live. It's a horrible way that a person would give their life away for like that. She went from being successful at having her dream house and all the stuff that she wanted to losing everything, living like a crackhead, and then eventually dying. And I'm just like, good God. And for what? To get high? I don't see the point. Smoke a joint, you'll be fine, and you'll live. It won't kill you. I mean, unless you choke to death. I mean, you might stroke out from that, but other than that, you'll be fine. Weed is good. But it is, man. I remember growing up, you could always count on your family to look out for you and watch out for you. They had your back. Even your extended family, especially here in the hills. And it went from being that way to your family was preying on you, stealing your shit because they knew your habits. They knew when you were at work, they knew when you were gone, and they'd take that knowledge and steal your shit. It was pretty bad. I had to move and literally not let my family know where I lived just to keep from getting robbed. I said you wouldn't believe how many people I've seen 18 years old getting locked up for 5 to 10 years in prison because of drugs or something drug related. It's just like, damn. Seemed like things calmed down here in West Virginia, where I live. For the last few years, things have been actually getting better on that front. But it seems like things might be taking a different swing now with the meth problem, though. So I don't know. I put my cameras up, and it seems to keep people away. Nobody stole any of my yard ornaments this year, so that's good. Pretty cool too, because they got the night vision, and you can actually see them like a little red glow at night. It killed me to come home and somebody steal all my pyro. I'd be like, nah, I hope they blow their fucking fingers off. They steal my shit. They don't know what they're doing. I guarantee they will. Oh man, I watched them tweaker videos on YouTube and stuff, and some of the shit they do is crazy. Like that one tweaker underpass where a bunch of them live and stuff. It's got a live 24-hour webcam on it. You can see them doing all kinds of shit. They come by, sweep them out of there with their little town in the underpass, and then they take all their shit and throw it away, and then you can sit there and watch them come right back. I had all the water lines and the heating system and everything like that. Even the water heater stolen out of my house. I still make payments on a heat pump that somebody stole and took to a scrapyard. I still make a payment every month for that stupid fucking thing. And my car, I got caught in a snowstorm for like a couple hours, walked away from the car, went up the road to a bar, had a few beers, waited for the road to get cleared, come back. My car had all the glass and stuff busted. My stereo, DVD player, game system, all that shit was gone. I was like, damn. So I've had my car and my house jacked, and it's not cool. Then I moved away and I didn't tell anybody where I lived. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, man. The one near Seattle, that underpass and stuff. They make their deals and shit behind the trash can now because they know the camera. I don't know how I started watching that shit, but I was like, what? Got this one guy comes by with his fucking his hoe, and I guess he's the pimp slash boyfriend of this one chick. I was like, good grief, check this out. They've got this whole little subculture going. It's kind of like watching ants, really. It's weird. What's that say about me, though? It's not good. Damn, I'm gonna have to get some more Nishiki shells, man. I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 boxes of shells, dude. Hey, lightning, yeah, it got dark here at 3 o'clock, dude. It started blowing up, storming all day. Right now, it's pretty calm, though. I can't remember the name, man. I haven't seen it in some time. You probably know the one I speak of. That sounds right for some reason. Oh man, this cold's killing me, guys. Has it been really dry where you're at, Pyro, or was you saying it was raining really bad? Tell you what, man, be happy that you're just getting rain instead of them poor people getting hit with all them damn tornadoes and shit. That stuff, that shit's scary, man. House to get torn apart, you in the middle of it. That's not a good day. I'm like a good thunder mover now. It's probably a pyro thing, but as far as anything bigger than that, no, thank you. Oh man, that sucks. Sounds about like my luck, though. You look forward to something all year. It's like rain on the 4th of July. It's like, good damn it. Last year, it just made me pop a mental fuse or some shit when it busted out with that rainstorm out of nowhere at 9 o'clock, bro. 9 a fucking clock. That's literally when you light the fuse, the start fuse, 9 o'clock for my show. And as soon as the clock clicked 9, so that did the heavens, and it just come down on like 30 or 40 cakes and shit. A lot of stuff got ruined. I was like, son of a bitch. It only lasted for about 35, 40 minutes, but the damage was done. All day it was clear sky. I didn't have anything standing by to cover it, really, you know. It was just one of them out of the blue thunder boomers. Fireworks are dry. I hear you, man. As long as you had a good time, bro, it's all that matters. I know you were definitely looking forward to that shit. I don't blame you either. It sounds like a cool thing to do. I'm always down for fireworks. I don't think it's something I really get tired of, man. I can sit there and just. I've sat there all day long before and just throw firecrackers in a creek. Literally, just sit there and throw firecrackers in a creek all day long. Usually with my buddies, we do that. We just, kind of burn down and just throw firecrackers in the creek. Time kind of goes by slowly. That would be the cool part of it, too. Who all did you run into, man? I seen that, man. That was crazy. That done a lot of damage. Did you run into any of the guys from the big channels and stuff? I know when I was at the amusement park, there was a gamer there that was like one of these big guys on YouTube and shit, and it was crazy. There was people in cosplay outfits, costumes. There was people swarming all over just to go meet this guy sitting in a tent. And I don't know, he might be a cool dude, but good grief, just to be a gamer and get that kind of fan base was insane. There was thousands of people there to see this dude that plays video games on YouTube. I don't remember the guy's name because I'm old, but still, I'm like, damn, really? Yeah. I had a YouTube pyro come to my house and we done some trading and stuff once. That was pretty cool. The old rusty can. Cool, man. I can understand that. Seems like it's another trait a lot of powers share. A little paranoia. I don't know if it's where we also, I think most powers like to slow down too. That might be part of it. I feel bad for what people in Hawaii have to pay for pyro, man. Good God. Yeah. Taking backfire too, because if somebody recognizes you and you don't recognize them, it's like, ah, shit, I hate that. Not that I've had it happen more than once, but it did happen once when I was at Coaster Stock, I believe, because somebody had heard me talking about it, or I'd said on somebody's, theme park channel that I was going, and somebody heard me talking and recognized it, I guess. I couldn't remember who the other dude was. So I was like, shit. Hey, man. I try to support a lot of channels, but you can only go so far. You can only know so many people, I try. Detective work, huh? You put the panda detective on it, he could probably figure it out. How many people you think were there, red lighting? Just an estimate. He already knew. Cool. He's been going there for a while, though, ain't he? Oh, God, not some Garth Brooks now. Here's somebody talking. I hate that. Cool, man. I'm going to have to film my shoot this year. Every time I do, I'm too busy to either film it or something happens with the camera. I run out of batteries, memory card, something's overlooked every 4th of July, and I just never get a good filming of it. This year, I want to. I'd say we've had some years where probably there was about 100 people there, maybe a little more. But not letting off fireworks. Just about 5 or 6 of us let off fireworks. Everybody else is there just for cookout and hang out, 4th of July kind of thing. Yeah. That's hard to do because I'm usually running around trying to set off the show at the same time. But I want to try it this year. I want to make sure that the cameras I guess I've got more experience at it. I think I'll be able to capture it. Just depends on how bad of a day I'm having. I might put it on, I might not. It's hard to tell, No, I'd say it's not. But I'd still sit there and do it, though. I'd say some of that stuff is pretty impressive. I was impressed with them tigers, man. I was like, good God, them sons of bitches are hot as hell. Those are very nice. My old brother was trying to get them out of me, man. I'm like, you have to find your own, man. These are mine. I always give him a few of each thing to put for his little collection. A typical little brother always tried to get something. The earthquake makers. I wonder if that shit does pick up on the seismographs. There's one out west all over the place. Hey, Bubbles, how you doing? Check out my old bottle I found. Still got this. Still got the damn. I can't remember what a cork is called. Damn, cork in the top. And I got that camera there. I paid $5 for that camera with the lens, battery pack, everything. It's pretty sweet. It was a flea market buy. There's a few things I've threw in my little firecracker hole up here on the hill, and you could feel the ground move. I'm like, damn. I'm doing all right. I'm getting over a bit of a cold, though. Well, flu, actually. Getting a little bit better now, but I'm still really congested. Shit. But other than that, I'm good. How you doing? I got all my good stuff hidden in my cabinet over there. Check out that. See, I hung one of them strips from the ceiling there, man. I thought it'd look cool hanging there. Those you got caught red-handed, they are really sweet for all of like 4 seconds. That's like the quickest cake ever. I was like, holy shit, 20 shots. Yeah, in like 2 seconds. No, I knew I was going to get sick too. I could feel it. There was a girl behind me in line on a roller coaster, and she had this cough, and I was like, damn it. Fucking Typhoid Mary got me. Whatever it is, pretty damn nasty. I don't get sick very often at all. I ain't got sick in years, matter of fact. Exactly, beer munchies. Well, they were meant to be, yeah, but I think it looks cool there, man. I'm thinking about using the that I have to start the show this year for the 4th. I'm gonna have some quick fuse in the top right at the head bomb, and it'll go to set off some cakes, and and just move up from there. But I'm thinking about hanging them on 2 parallel posts on the hillside and using them to start it. It's a thought. It's hard to tell what'll actually happen, though. I say a lot of stuff, but what actually comes to fruition, it's hard to tell. It's never anything like the plan, but I still try to enjoy myself. I just have to not overextend my imagination and try to do too much like I did last year. It's just, I have to keep it reasonable. I expected too much from my stoner friends last year, and it just ended up with me being really pissed off and aggravated. And they weren't too happy with me either. But I swear, when you're working and you're trying to get stuff done, every time you turn around, all your buddies are standing around you, talking to you, watching you work. It's like, if you guys could, help me with this, we could get done a lot quicker. But it's just, I don't know. I wasn't making it fun being a slave driver, I guess. I want to try to be more relaxed this year. Thank you, Bubbles. It was like a little toy cave. I was going over some old oil cans and stuff that we found in the basement. It was pretty sweet. I found an old like bottle graveyard down there. I don't know why they're all buried under the house like that, but there's quite a mound. A spot of spaghetti. Just don't burn the house down, bro. Hey, Bubbles, I have something I wanted to show you. It was some artwork that my daughter painted for me. Hold on a second. My daughter painted that for me. That's my favorite anime character. She's pretty good. I'm proud of her. Right now, she's playing Wendy in our town's production of Peter Pan, and she drew like a cover art thing of Peter Pan, and they made the programs and stuff from her artwork. So I'm pretty proud of that too. Not only is she, you know, the lead female in the thing, she's also designed the program. She made me this sign here that I put up. She put that one on canvas board. Ah, yes, my Nishiki shells. My special shells. Yep, I need to declutter again. Little dragon. Yeah, she painted that and the Alucard that I showed you. Well, I tell you what, and this is gonna sound cruel, but part of it is for me because she always been interested in art and stuff like that. She's always one of the things she collects. Always as a little child she collected everything. So because she was into art, she had to have everything art, like the alcohol markers, the expensive high dollar shit, and all this stuff. And I've kept her supplied since she was a little toddler. I mean, she has more art supplies than her school. And that's not bragging or exaggeration. That's true. She's got more art supplies than her school at this point, and she always tried. And one day I told her that maybe she should try something else because I didn't think that. I was trying to explain to her that not everybody can draw because I always wanted to draw and paint myself, and I never could. And that made her so angry that her art skill started increasing exponentially because I had said that. And I was wrong. She proved me wrong. So it was like she just, it was that, the stubbornness just to say, yo, I'm gonna make this nice. And that's what drove her to do better. But it sounds cruel on my part, and it was, but I was just, I don't know. Oh, she's 17 now. She's always been Daddy's little girl, though. She's usually in my shadow. Even to this day, can't stop or turn around, or I'll step on her toes. Shit or get off the pot. What do you mean, man? Uh, I don't know. I guess I was just trying to be nice to her and try to. But my art criticism really spurred her on to get as good as she's gotten. Thank you. I try. And then our amusement park trip thing, like I said, I started that as a reward system for schoolwork. And she stayed on the A honor roll for the entire year. She got to pick an amusement park on the east side of the country, within reason. And we would go. And she went all the way through school and never missed an entire year. Now she's planning her own senior trip that she's going to take her friends on for this year coming. She wants to do the same thing but solo, I guess. I can't keep up with them anymore. Dad's got too old. I have to go back to the hotel and take a nap, get up and go back, maybe try it again. I'm proud of her though. She's getting ready to go off to college. That's going to be a really hard adjustment for me. I'm used to having her around all the time. Yeah, little girls tend to be daddy's girl, mommy's boys. That's just the way it kind of works. Well, your daughter's going to compare all the men in the rest of her life to her father. So you want to be something that she can compare to. That's always been my thought process on that. And it was pretty easy for me with my daughter because we've always had the same way of seeing things, the same way of thinking. We can pretty much carry on a communication with a glance. But we were fortunate to have that connection. It's not hard to get along when you have that kind of connection. I told her I might have to enroll back in school myself, and just keep an eye on her. And she looked at me because she rolled her eyes, but she's like, it's something I probably would do. Exactly, man. You have to be something worthy of comparison because you don't want your daughter to end up, thinking she's going to end up with a douchebag. My daughter is very intelligent. She's tall, she's blonde, she's very pretty, and she does not care one bit about boys, girls, or anything else. Give her a cat and some anime books, and she's a happy kid. That's another thing. It's expensive. Anime stuff. Oh my god. I got her watching anime, so it's kind of my fault. And good lord, she's like I said, she's always been a collector. So now that she collects anime, that shit is crazy expensive when you have it exported from Japan. Yes, the worst punishment that I could ever do for her growing up was to tell her I was disappointed in something she had done. That was worse than any spanking that you could ever give a child. But she never disappointed very often. Yeah, I might hurt him a little bit. If she ever brings a guy around, he'll definitely be well versed that her father is a firearms expert and explosives, so don't mess with it. Ooh, I hate people that are like that. My grandfather was like that. He was mean as hell, but then when he got old and he was afraid of he wouldn't meet Jesus, then he was all nice and good and shit. And I'm like, being nice out of fear is not the same thing as being a nice person. I'm sorry for your loss, but you know what I mean. These people that get scared and know their time is short and they think that they're good and they act like they've been good their whole life, but they haven't, and they know it. I guess it's some people just religious people do out of fear. I guess I don't know. Oh man, it's getting late. I'm probably gonna sign off, guys. Thanks for coming back and hanging out with me, Power Dude. Bubbles, it's been really nice talking to you. I hope your art and stuff like that goes well. Your projects come out nice. I'm gonna go get me some Mountain Dew because my throat's getting kind of sore and kick back in my recliner for the evening. So you guys have a good night. Be careful out there. Yeah, me too, man. I'm tired of being all crouped up. I might have to take some exploring or something. Maybe that'll help. I'm gonna go in here and drink some of this NyQuil. Maybe that'll do something for it. You guys take it easy.